Reese Lloyd, kickoff specialist, re-signed by Carolina on September 14th. Led the NFL in touchbacks in 2008 with 30, set to kick it off. Bernard Scott is the deep man for the Bengals. This is just the fourth meeting between these two teams. Carolina won 2 of the 3 previous games. The last time they played was 06 in Cincinnati. The Bengals won that one 17-14. And we are underway in Charlotte. A short kick taken at the 15 by Scott. And out across the 30-yard line. So the Bengals ready to go to work. Carson Palmer, quarterback, and Richie faced a tough Baltimore Ravens defense a week ago.
Yeah, you know, they haven't started games particularly well on offense, Bill. Takes a little while to get going. They haven't scored a first quarter point in the first 2 games. In terms of the weather, no quarterback likes playing in the rain, but it shouldn't be a huge issue for Carson. He's got big hands. He's played in these kind of games.
We talked with him yesterday. He was not happy with the offense. They'll begin from their own 31-yard line. T.O. is the motion man. Quick slant, he throws it behind Ocho Cinco, and right away there are the timing things that we had talked about earlier. Well, a big veteran group up front for the Cincinnati Bengals. They've been built for that tough AFC North. And then the backs and receivers, T.O. and Ocho Cinco, get most of the headlines, but they want to run the football. They'll try to get it to number 32, Cedric Benson. 2nd and 10 after the incomplete pass. From the shotgun. Carson gets rid of it. Intended for T.O., incomplete. Just underway here in Charlotte, North Carolina, the Carolina Panthers and the Cincinnati Bengals. And the Carolina, they are speedy. They have Tyler Brayton back this week to try and pressure Carson Palmer. John Beeson leads the linebacking corps. Dan Connor has done a good job in the middle. And the secondary will have their hands full today. Chris Gamble is the veteran at left corner. So 3rd and long, opening possession for the Cincinnati Bengals from their own 31-yard line. Brian Leonard is checked in. He slips out, gets rid of it, and intercepted. Intended for Ocho Cinco, and Captain Mullerlin, the nickelback, has the turnover.
Well, confusion right there on the first 3rd down of the game. Carson Palmer is anticipating Chad to come out of that break at the top. You're going to watch him right at the top of the route. He begins to stop and sit. Carson is anticipating him to run that dig route, cross the face of Captain Munnerlin. He never does. Not the start they were looking for offensively.
And we want to apologize. We're having some technical issues. We're working to get those resolved. So the Panthers with an early turnover, and now the rookie Jimmy Clausen will go to work, and we've got a flag before the snap.
Number 74 offense, 5-yard penalty remains. First down.
They call it on the right tackle, Jeff Schwartz. Starting there for Jeff Otah, who is still recovering from a knee injury.
Well, it's important to control the nerves early if you're Jimmy Clausen. I think Jeff Davison, the offensive coordinator, can help him with some high completion percentage throws early, quick 3-step throws, the sure-handed Steve Smith, and it wouldn't hurt to get those 2 big backs rolling early.
D'Angelo Williams is the lone setback. And they give it to him. And no running room. Gets close to midfield. Keith Rivers, the Will linebacker, made the stop. Well, Jimmy Clausen Rich taking the field for the first time as the starting quarterback in the National Football League.
And Bill, you and I have talked about it. He's been in some big games in the past, but this isn't Navy, Air Force, or even USC. This is Mike Zimmer and the Cincinnati Bengals. They will come after him and test him early.
Although there are a couple of USC linebackers, Rivers and Malaluga, on the other side of the line of scrimmage. A nice hole for Williams. He has a first down and more. A big gain from D'Angelo Williams. And finally, Leon Hall pushed him out of bounds. A pickup of 26.
Well, I really felt like the 2 running backs had to be more of a factor than they were the first 2 weeks. And you can see right here, good movement up front. D'Angelo Williams, big, strong, nifty back that once he gets on the second level can really open up ground. Boy, nice movement up inside, and D'Angelo Williams. This is key. When you're starting a rookie at quarterback, these 2 backs, D'Angelo Williams and Jonathan Stewart, have to have big days.
From the Cincinnati 25-yard line, the snap is bobbled. It's loose, and it looks like Cincinnati has it.
Well, something you work on day one in training camp.
Roy Williams came away from it, and an early mistake from the rookie. We are underway here in Charlotte, North Carolina, week 3. Two turnovers in the first minute and a half, and the Bengals have it back at their own 30-yard line. Benson trying to cut it back, stop for a loss. Great penetration by Derek Landry. And Rich, let's take another look at the fumbled snap.
Well, it's hard to blame the Pro Bowl center, Ryan Khalil. Look at Jimmy here, right here. His hands come apart just a little bit. You can't be so anxious to get away from center. That quarterback-center exchange, very important. You have to sit in there a little bit more, anticipate the wet balls. That just comes with experience.
2nd and 14 after the loss. Short drop. Palmer on the slant, has T.O. and a nice pickup to the 43-yard line. Richard Marshall, the cornerback, made the stop after a pickup of 17.
And this is a route that T.O. runs really well. The simple slant route, big body, he posts up inside. Always does a nice job catching the ball away from his body. The other thing is, I think there are certain routes in this type of weather, Bill, that are easier for the quarterback to throw. Certainly the slants and the hooks in breaking routes are the way to go.
So first down for the Bengals. Carson changes the play. He had 2 incomplete passes and threw an interception in the first 16 seconds of the game. Brian Leonard, who's been out with a sprained foot since the preseason, active today, carries it out close to midfield.
Well, I'm talking with Ron Meeks, the defensive coordinator of the Panthers. He said it's really important for our front to hold up. This is as big an offensive line. They're about 350 across the board that we'll see all year. That first jolt, really important. We have to hold our own against this Bengals offensive line.
2nd and a long 3 for Cincinnati. Again, Palmer changing the play. Benson the lone setback. And they give it to number 32. Kicking his way into Carolina territory to the 49. And let's take a look now at Gannon's MVPs, most valuable points.
Well, the Bengals are going to be much better in the passing game with all the new additions, but the key is it Cedric Benson. It's got to be. We carried this team to a division title a year ago. For the Panthers with a young quarterback, you have to do what you do best, and that's run those 2 big backs, D'Angelo Williams and Jonathan Stewart. I believe those are the keys.
3rd and 2 for Cincinnati. Leonard is in the backfield with Palmer. And that was almost picked off. Chris Gamble had a bead on it, intended for Chad Ochocinco.
I'm really surprised to see Carson make this throw. I mean, I think he's got good vision. Clearly, he sees Chris Gamble right there. He's not surprised. Talk about looking out in front of throws. This is not a throw that you anticipate from Carson Palmer trying to squeeze this one in on the boundary to Chad.
Huber's punt. It's a Cincinnati roll and will be down inside the 5-yard line. So a long field upcoming for the Carolina Panthers, a 45-yard punt. It's a damp day here in Charlotte, North Carolina. Panthers, their 2nd possession, start from their own 4-yard line. High formation, D'Angelo Williams, the deep back, and he gets it, trying to find a hole, and falls forward across the 5. Ray Malaluga, 2nd year out of USC, made the stop.
Well, we talked with Ray yesterday, and he said that he was going to let Jimmy Clausen feel him a little bit early. Some of that attitude, some of that energy that they have, and of course, they played together a lot. Ray playing out at USC, and of course, Jimmy at Notre Dame. No love lost between those 2 players.
They both used to talk. 2nd down, 2nd and 8 for Carolina. Again, Williams, great penetration, and it was Malaluga who went flying through the air into the backfield to disrupt things. Take a look at the keys for Jimmy Clausen today, Rich.
Well, I really think ball security, they've already turned it over once. They've turned it over 8 times in their first 2 games. You can't do that. Feed those backs. I don't care how you do it. If you hand it to them, you toss it to them, you throw it to them, they need to be big today. And, of course, throwing the ball away, punting once in a while is okay. You just cannot turn the ball over.
3rd and 8, and they run it again.
Boy, very conservative call there.
And well short of a first down. Picked up just a couple. Michael Johnson made the stop rather.
Well, they're going to try and take the ball out of Jimmy's hands a little bit early. They want to run the football, play great defense, be solid in the kicking game, and try and win that way. But at some point, you're going to have to take the training wheels off and let Jimmy go out and play.
Bengals should have good field position. Quan Cosby standing at about his own 47-yard line. Waiting for the Jason Baker punt. He'll have some room to run from the 38. Cosby brought down hard at the 47-yard line. 8:54 left to play in the first. Still no score. That was a 56-yard punt. We're back, and a Carolina Panther is down following the punt return. That's Jamar Williams, the linebacker, and being attended. And let's take a look and see if we can pick up where it happened.
Oh. Violent collisions in the kicking game. Just never know where they're going to come from. Sometimes it's players on your own team trying to make a tackle.
8:54 left to go in the first. Wet day here in Charlotte, North Carolina. 1-1 Cincinnati Bengals and the 0-2 Carolina Panthers. Panthers trying to avoid a second consecutive 0-3 start. They'll be glad to see the month of September come to an end. They are 0-5 in their last 5 September games.
Yeah, they really have not gotten off to good starts the last couple of years, and it's a very young football team. And you can see Jamar right here trying to get his feet, and right there, shot to the left side of the temple. Look how slippery it is on the field on the outside the numbers.
And it looked like it was helmet to helmet with his teammate Tony Fiametta, the fullback out of Syracuse, who was going almost full speed. John Fox over there as well.
That's good to see.
I'd say he took a shot.
Sometimes you get a stinger that will run right down both of those arms, and it scares you as a player. His fingers and hands will go numb, and it's good to see him up.
Helping Jamar Williams to his feet. Obviously taking no chances as we take one more look. Definitely woozy.
Well, they're taking him to the locker room. Further examinations and get an x-ray and make sure that he's okay.
So the Cincinnati Bengals and Carson Palmer will start. Good field position, their own 47-yard line. Play action. Palmer. And that was overthrown to T.O. and again almost intercepted. Sherrod Martin, the free safety, almost came away with it.
Well, we talked about the timing in the passing game. He's missed a couple throws. They were earlier to a guy he's played with for 8 years in Chad. This one's to T.O. And this, my sense is the ball is a little slick, and it's slipping on Carson Palmer. He's missed a couple throws now, and these are scary throws late down the middle. That's a ball that Sherrod Martin could have intercepted.
Palmer just 1 of 6. 2nd and 10. The screen. Gresham, the rookie, still on his feet. What a great effort. And finally, Martin brings him down.
Well, these are high completion percentage throws, safe throws to the rookie tight end, and I think this is an excellent call by Bob Bretkowski. Give it to the tight end. Let this guy go to work. He's a very difficult tackle in the open field. He's extremely athletic, and I see him getting more and more confident each week.
21st pick overall out of Oklahoma, came in with 9 catches for 40 yards and a touchdown in the first 2 games. From the Carolina, call it the 26-yard line. Benson with the hole. Powers forward down to the 22-yard line.
Well, problems in the passing game early. I'm a little surprised they've come out and tried to be as aggressive right here. Miscommunication. Chad not anticipating it. Back shoulder throw to T.O. This one, I really think it's on the receiver. Looked like Carson was anticipating Chad to finish that route, cross the face of the defender. They need to get these things straightened out.
2nd and 6. T.O. is the motion man. High formation. Second back is Benson. And hits a wall at the line of scrimmage.
Well, this is where they had their issues last week against Baltimore. I know that they've spent extra time in practice this week working in the scoring zone. They need more production when they get these opportunities down here. Not good enough last week. They had to settle for 5 field goals. They kept Mike Nugent busy.
And we get word that Jamar Williams has a neck injury and his return is doubtful. 3rd and 6 for Cincinnati. They were unable to score a touchdown a week ago, had to settle for 5 Mike Nugent field goals in the victory. Palmer with time, the slant connects with T.O. Ball is loose.
I think he's down.
And they're going to rule that the Bengals retain possession. And let's see if his forward progress was enough for the first down, and it was.
As a quarterback, I always loved these big receivers, and that's what T.O. is. He can go in there and run those slants across the middle of the field. Nice job by Charles Godfrey coming up there and laying a lick on T.O. Crowd reacting to that late.
And they're going to challenge. Red flag is out.
That was a big hit by Charles Godfrey.
John's letting him have it. Pete Morelli is a referee.
I wonder if they're talking about forward progress there.
There is no challenge on the play. By rule, you cannot challenge forward progress.
There you go. So not challenging the fumble, but forward progress.
Oh, that's a big hit. Yeah, I think.
Maybe you should have challenged it because that ball looked like it was coming out.
Looks like he held on to it for a while, then it came out as he was going back down towards the ground. Again, you can't challenge forward progress if the officials blow it dead.
So it's a first down from the Carolina 15-yard line. Offset eye. Benson, the deep back. And they give it to Benson, trying to get to the edge. Cuts it back, lowers his shoulder. And out of bounds at the 14-yard line. Charles Godfrey made the stop.
Well, I don't think there'll be a whole lot for Carson to figure out when you look at this Carolina defense. They're fairly basic, not as complicated as what he's seen the first 2 weeks against the Jets and the Ravens. They're going to line up. They're going to challenge you with their front. They're going to be aggressive, but they're not going to try and fool you.
So 2nd and 9 for Cincinnati. They're threatening. Just over 5 minutes remaining in the first. T.O. in motion. Keep it on the ground. Benson powering his way down to the 10. Dan Connor, the middle linebacker, made the tackle.
You know, Bill, you and I have talked about it not just this week, but even last week with the Cincinnati Bengals. They've added so many weapons in the passing game for Carson Palmer. But I think it's really important that you don't forget what brought you all that success a year ago and helped you win a division title. And that's running the football with some power behind that big offensive line with your great back, Cedric Benson. They have to continue to press the run.
Carolina allowed Tampa Bay to convert 5 of 7 on 3rd down last week in the first half. It's 3rd and 6 for Cincinnati. To the end zone, incomplete. And we're going to have a pass interference call. Andre Caldwell was the intended receiver, and it looked like he was held.
Pass interference, number 29, the defense. The foul occurred in the end zone. By rule, the ball will be placed on the 1-yard line, automatic first down.
That's Jordan Pugh, the rookie out of Texas A&M, 6th-round draft pick.
Well, the rookie makes a rookie mistake. You can't allow the receiver to get inside in this two-deep coverage. Jordan Pugh has no help inside by the safeties. Carson Palmer knows it, throws it in there. Jordan Pugh gets the penalty.
Number 94.
So they'll go with the jumbo package.
Domata Peko right here.
Domata Peko, the big man. Nose tackle, and he will lead the way for Cedric Benson. Good penetration, but Benson gets it into the end zone. Touchdown, Cincinnati.
Well, we watched them work on this in practice, and Peko is an excellent lead back. He's very athletic for a big defensive lineman. They put him back in there, and Cedric Benson loves running behind him. Look at the push up front. Nice job by the guard getting out there. You see Peko, he gets enough of Richard Marshall to get Cedric Benson around the edge. You see Dan Connor trying to get there. Linebackers trying to jump over piles. Cedric Benson has too much speed on the perimeter.
Mike Nugent on to try the extra point. And it's good. So the Cincinnati Bengals strike first. 4:21 left to go in the opening period. Cedric Benson with the touchdown run. It is 7-0 Bengals. And we're back, Bank of America Stadium, Charlotte, North Carolina. 8 plays on the drive, 53 yards, took 4.5 minutes. Mike Goodson will be the deep man, ready to return the kick of Mike Nugent. Takes it at the 7. Goodson out across the 25 and close to the 30-yard line. Leon Hall made the stop and some extra pushing and shoving. Goodson comes away limping a little bit. So Cedric Benson with the touchdown run gives the Bengals the lead. Jimmy Clausen, the rookie, will go back to work when we return. Carolina from their own 26-yard line. Jimmy Clausen has yet to throw a pass. And here it comes, his first one, and it's batted down. Frosty Rucker, 5th year out of USC, and let's take a look at Gannon's film study now. The Panthers have not been great, Rich, at protecting the passer.
Well, the Panthers don't do a good enough job handling the stunts and twists inside, and as an offensive line, you have to be able to communicate and pass this off so that your quarterback doesn't get hammered. Again, last week, much of the same thing, and this could have been a disaster as linebacker Quincy Black almost decapitates Matt Moore. This just can't keep showing up on film each week.
Giving up 8 quarterback sacks. Here's Stewart picking his way out across the 30 to the 33-yard line. Roy Williams made the stop, and now let's get an NFL update and send you to New York and JB.
Hey, Bill, I think Rich can appreciate this. Of course, with Ben Roethlisberger, one more game to serve on his suspension. Dennis Dixon injured last week. The 13-year vet, Charlie Batch. A lot of WD-40 on that arm. Uncorks a 46-yarder. That to Mike Wallace. Pittsburgh on top. 7-3 in the first. Bill McAtee, Rich Gannon.
All right, JB, the Steelers are 2-0, alone at the top in the AFC North here early in the season. 3rd and 3 for the Carolina Panthers. Clausen will operate from the shotgun. Slings it in there to Goodson, and this is a first down. Out across the 45 to the 47-yard line. A nice play for the Panthers.
Boy, you know, Mike Goodson has really come on in his 2nd year out of Texas A&M. He really has that role as the 3rd down back. He's gotten better in terms of the protection scheme, but where he's really improved as a route runner. Look at him catch this ball, pluck it out of the air, and then make some big yards after the catch. Really nice throw by Jimmy Clausen. And confidence, so important. Each rep, each throw as he begins his career here in Carolina.
So they convert on 3rd down. That was good for 14 yards. From the 47-yard line, Stewart Picked up maybe one Malaluga was waiting for.
And in talking with Ray Malaluga last night, he said we have to be patient on the backside of these runs. Both of these backs will wind it back, and so I can't over pursue. Good job there by Ray sealing that back edge.
Fast and a huge hitter. Malaluga can make plays all over the field, just really starting to come into his own in his second year. Stewart stays in the game, 2nd and 9. And they give it to Jonathan Stewart. Cuts it back to the 49-yard line. Bengals with a tough defense. They were the NFL's 4th-ranked defensive unit a year ago, and already with these damp conditions, the field deteriorated.
Yeah, particularly in the middle of the field, Bill. You have those big 350-pound linemen, and they have those long cleats on, and that gets torn up there pretty quick, so it's going to be tough for those backs to get their footing inside.
Panthers have no first-quarter touchdowns this year. 3rd and long, 3rd and 8 now for Carolina. Goodson's back in the game. Lawson gets rid of it, incomplete. Brandon LaFell was the intended receiver, but that was well underthrown.
And you see they get a 3rd and long situation, and Mike Zimmer brings pressure. You got to find out about Jimmy Clausen early. I think it's important to discourage him, get after the young quarterback, make sure he has answers and can handle the pressure that they're going to bring.
So that'll bring out Jason Baker. Quan Cosby's the back deep to return the punt for the Bengals. Adam Jones is out, by the way, inactive with a shoulder injury. Beautiful punt. Turns it over and bounces into the end zone for a touchback. A 51-yard punt. Well, let's take a look at this dynamic duo, Batman and Robin, for the Cincinnati Bengals.
Well, unique combination. So far, so good. But what you worry about is when adversity hits and after a tough loss, are there going to be enough balls to go around? Will they both be satisfied with their role in this offense? Only time will tell, but so far they've done a good job spreading the ball around, making sure each of them gets some catches early in games.
No catches for 85. T.O. has 2 for 24 yards. 1st and 10. Cincinnati leading 7-0, 1:18 left to go in the first. Benson tries to get it to the outside and does. That's Bernard Scott. And Scott scurries his way across the 30 to the 33-yard line.
I think you just have to keep running the football. It's a smaller group up front. Look how big that offensive line is for Cincinnati, and whether it's Cedric Benson, whether it's Bernard Scott, I think you have to run the football. Carson has made some erratic throws, some poor decisions early. I think running the football will help settle him down.
They spotted at the 32. That was good for a pickup of 12. Scott, the explosive 2nd-year player out of Abilene Christian, came in averaging 4.7 yards a carry. 1st and 10 for Cincinnati. Scott stays in the game as the deep back. Play clock all the way down, and they're not going to get it off.
This is frustrating.
And this has been a continuing problem for the Cincinnati Bengals. They had 4.
Timeout, Cincinnati,
Well, they're gonna
prior to the flag being thrown.
Get the timeout just in time.
Timeout.
They had 4 penalties before the snap a week ago against the Ravens, and that's been frustrating for Carson Palmer.
Well, Bill, you and I asked Carson about the pre-snap penalties last night. They were a problem a week ago against Baltimore. He said they worked hard all week with substitutions in the play clock and practice to avoid the confusion, the false starts. Again, we have problems here with the play clock going all the way down to 0.
So they're in the end of the first quarter.
Palmer
up top. T.O. well underthrown, and that's picked off by Godfrey. That was a terrible pass and a big return from Godfrey. His 3rd interception of the season. Jermaine Gresham pushed him out of bounds.
And Bill, really, that's the kind of throw that you would expect Jimmy Clausen, the rookie, to make, not the veteran Carson Palmer. I mean, he knows better. I don't care if there's some pressure. This is a throw that's late down the middle, a throw that Carson can't make in this situation. And not only that, but it sails on him. I mean, the safety's right there. They got help over the top. Beeson's right underneath. Godfrey over the top. You can't make that throw in that situation.
A 38-yard return, and T.O. had a few steps. He was open. So let's see if the Panthers can take advantage. Clausen. And that may have been picked off. And it was. Leon Hall. And Cincinnati comes right back. Steve Smith was the intended receiver for Clausen.
Well, you get the turnover. Jeff Davison, the offensive coordinator, dials up a shot off of play action. Good protection. Jimmy takes that extra hit. It's just enough for Leon Hall to get under Steve Smith. If you're going to miss this throw, you have to miss it in front. But a great job by Leon Hall driving on that throw.
So once again, the teams exchange turnovers.
Boy, Jimmy really locked in on that one. You just can't stare down these receivers. These corners do a great job of sitting on routes.
The Bengals will start from their own 5-yard line. Last play of the first quarter. Benson is back in. Standing 3 yards deep in his own end zone. And they give it to 32. He's out across the 5 to the 6-yard line. So that's the end of the first quarter. With our score, Cincinnati 7, Carolina nothing. We'll return to Charlotte after these messages. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Ready to start the second quarter. A couple of early mistakes from the rookie. Fumbled snap, and then short time ago, an interception. Second down for the Cincinnati Bengals from their own 7-yard line. Palmer rolling. And he has to get rid of it. He was drilled. Trying to hit Gresham, the tight end, but he was well covered.
Well, I don't think there's any reason to take this hit. They try and fool with play action. Carolina does a great job covering up. Now throw it away. Don't take this hit from Dan Connor.
Dan Connor's taken over as the Mike linebacker, calling the signals for this Carolina defense. The coaches really feel that he started to play very well. So 3rd and long for Cincinnati. From their own 7-yard line, 3rd and 8, just underway in the second quarter.
Well,
empty backfield.
Carson Palmer's making me nervous.
Run the screen to Gresham. Gresham is close to a first down. He may have it. Sherrod Martin, the free safety, made the tackle.
That's been their best play so far, that little screen to the left to Jermaine Gresham. Do a nice job setting the edge. Now watch him throw when he gets into the transition of the run. Look at the offensive line get out in front, but Jermaine Gresham, I think, is going to be an outstanding player in this league. He's big, he's tall, he's fast, and he plays with confidence.
Good block by Andrew Whitworth, the left tackle, to spring him for the first down. I formation now. Benson's the deep back. Quick strike to Ocho Cinco. Tries to make a move, keeps his feet. And forward to the 23-yard line. And once again, let's go to New York for an update with JB.
Bill and Rich, Lance Moore of the Saints having a big first half. 72-yard punt return set up the first score on the receiving end of this 80-yard pass play from Drew Brees. Lance Moore and the Saints on top of Atlanta. 14-7 that early in the second. Bill McAtee, Rich Gannon.
All right, JB, thank you very much. 2nd and 4 for the Bengals. They lead at 7-0. 13.5 minutes left to go in the half. From their own 23. Benson, nice hole left side. Stopped at the 25. James Anderson, the Sam linebacker, was the first one there.
Well, they ask a lot of Carson Palmer in the running game. He does a great job previewing the front. And I think Cedric Benson and the rest of these backs really appreciate it. Tries to get him into the most advantageous play based on the front and coverage. You get that flexibility and freedom as a quarterback because you've done it, you have the experience, and you've gotten the results.
3rd and 2 for Cincinnati. Brian Leonard is checked in. Palmer from the shotgun. Gets rid of it. That's caught by the rookie Jordan Shipley out of Texas. And that is a first down once again to JB in New York for a Week 3 update.
Lions were up 7-0, but after a Lions fumble on the punt, Brett Favre and the Vikings make him pay. Favre to Percy Harvin, 24-yard strike. It is all knotted at 7 late in the first. Bill McAtee, Rich Gannon.
Great action. Thank you, JB, from around the National Football League. Here in Week 3. Good one here in Carolina. 7-0 Bengals. Bengals have it. Benson cuts it back inside the block. Down close to the 40-yard line. Sherrod Martin made the tackle.
Well, I really like Reggie Kelly in this offense for Cincinnati. He does a great job in the running game blocking the perimeter. And he's not the guy that they want to throw the football to, but you just watch him here as he comes on the edge. He's the end man on the line of scrimmage. It's a nice job sealing, and then he gets off that block and tries to get a scrape on the linebacker.
Happy to have him back. He missed all of last season with a ruptured Achilles. Tremendous blocker. 2nd and 3 after the pickup of 7 on first down. Benson, the lone back. They give it to him. Gets it back inside once again. And brought down at the 40 by Beeson. Beeson, the 2-time Pro Bowl linebacker, set a club record with 169 tackles last season, breaking his own Carolina record.
And you mentioned the switch for Beeson from Mike linebacker to the weak side linebacker because of the injury to Thomas Davis. And I think he lost some of his freedom. He can't run sideline to sideline, but he's learning some new responsibilities in the passing game. He still shows up and makes big plays.
So 3rd and 2. Again, Leonard is in the game. He is the lone back. Palmer, short drop. And that was almost intercepted by Anderson. Gresham, the tight end, slipped.
That's the one thing you got to be careful about when you have these type of conditions. Slick balls, the receivers with their footing. Carson's trying to look off the linebacker there, but Gresham, you see him, these slips coming out of the break.
Anderson
fake punt.
Almost had his 2nd interception. They're going to fake it. This is Leonard, and he's got a first down for Cincinnati.
Well, you talk about an aggressive play call. Look where they were at in the field. I mean, they had 4th and a long 3, almost 4 yards. Carolina doesn't even anticipate it. Nice job. You're going to see Leonard dive here at the end. It's just enough for him to get that first down. The element of surprise. Trying to get another possession.
So a fresh set of downs for the Bengals. That the drive alive that started at the 5-yard line. Now at their own 44. Benson fighting his way for a couple of yards. Down at the 45. Well, coming up on the Sprint Halftime Report, join JB, Dan, Shannon, Boomer, and Coach Cowher for all the latest NFL scores and highlights from around the league in Week 3. That's all coming up on the Sprint Halftime Report.
Bill, I think that fake punt indicates the urgency that Marvin Lewis feels as a head coach. They want to get control of this game early.
Of course, the rookie to try to bring him back. This is the 12th play of the drive coming. Palmer, Ochocinco, in and out of his hands. Bounced off of his chest.
Well, they are really struggling right now in the passing game, and if it's not footwork, if it's not timing, it's guys dropping balls, guys slipping at the top of their routes. I mean, Chad, it's a simple throw and catch for him. He gets in on his chest, bounces off those shoulder pads. That's why we talk about catching the ball with your hands, but when it's so slippery, it's so slick, you want to make sure that you body those catches.
So 3rd and long, 3rd and 9 for Cincinnati. Palmer steps up, gets rid of it, another first down. That time, sure hands from Chad Ochocinco, who came in as the AFC's leading receiver through the first 2 weeks of the season.
Yeah, you can see right there, Chad apologizing to Carson for the one before. He runs great routes. Watch him come back here. Does a nice job coming back to the football. You can see Chris Gamble there, the cornerback. He's driving on this throw. Carson puts it right in the outside shoulder away from the defender.
That was the third down conversion of this drive. They also converted on 4th down from the Carolina 42-yard line.
And you see Carson Palmer raise his hand there. He's changing the play at the line of scrimmage.
Benson, nice hole. Closes pretty quickly, stopped at the 40, trying to battle his way forward, and finally brought down at the 39-yard line.
Well, I thought it was interesting in talking with Marvin Lewis last night. He brought up that difficult loss that the Bengals had a year ago out in Oakland. They had control of the game. They let it slip away. They allowed the Raiders to hang around. He said, listen, this is another big step for us to be able to come back and play well after a big divisional win. But we can't allow this football team to hang around. If we play like we're capable of, we should win here today.
2nd and 7 for Cincinnati. Benson back with Palmer from the shotgun. Gresham is the motion man. Pump fake.
Screen.
And they had blown that up. Benson was in the vicinity, but there was not a lot of running room.
Yeah, really nice job there by Charles Johnson sorting through that rush. When you start seeing those big offensive linemen leave you go in pass protection and start moving to the right, you know that screen is coming. Good alert play there.
So that'll bring up another 3rd down, 3rd and 7 for Cincinnati. They've converted 4 of 7 3rd downs. Leonard again in the game. In the backfield with Carson Palmer. They check it down to him, incomplete.
Well, they have coaches too. It's a pretty good job here with their coverage scheme. They double the outside receivers and they leave Leonard matched up one-on-one with the linebacker. And when it's slick, Bill, it's really hard to be accurate. You just want to steer these throws, particularly as you're throwing to tight ends and backs.
Huber with the high punt. Munnerlyn lets it go, and it will bounce all the way down to the 2-yard line. So a long field upcoming for Jimmy Clausen, the rookie. 7-0 Cincinnati, 2nd quarter. 7.5 minutes left to go in the 1st half. From the 2-yard line, Stewart gets some running room and able to pick up maybe 1. Tahani Jones made the stop, and of course Jimmy Clausen came out of a pro-style offense, Rich, under Charlie Weiss at Notre Dame, so he is NFL ready in many ways.
Yeah, he really is. And you think about Charlie Weiss, Jeff Davison, the offensive coordinator, was an offensive assistant with Charlie in New England, and talking with Jeff yesterday, he said almost 50% of our offense is very similar to what Jimmy ran at Notre Dame.
Down by a touchdown here in the 2nd. Again, it's Stewart picking his way and dancing out across the 5 to the 6-yard line. Jimmy Clausen left Notre Dame ranked 1st or 2nd in 32 passing categories.
Yeah, I really felt like of all the quarterbacks coming out, that Jimmy was probably most ready to play right away because of his experience with Charlie in that pro-style system at Notre Dame. And I talked about 50% of this system is carryover from what he did at Notre Dame. That is huge for a young player, and as a result, you know, Jeff Davison, the offensive coordinator, says we really don't need to scale back the volume. Jimmy feels really comfortable with our offense.
Michael Goodson has checked in. Able to get the low snap, now under pressure, flush from the pocket. He's going to take off, Clausen, and he wisely slides down. That could have gotten ugly quickly. 2nd rookie quarterback to start in the NFL this season behind Sam Bradford, the 3rd quarterback taken this past April.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a while for Tim Tebow. Sam Bradford's already gotten off to a good start, and of course Jimmy gets his opportunity today. And big thing, just make good decisions and take care of the football. 2 turnovers already today for the Carolina offense.
Baker from his own end zone. Cosby will field it at the 48-yard line. Again, the Bengals are going to start with very good field position. He's brought down at the 42. A 39-yard punt, 5:23 left to go in the half. Short field for Carson Palmer, starting at the Carolina 42-yard line. 1st and 10.
Yeah, another example right there, changing the play. He's going to preview that they should run it here based on the safeties.
Benson picks up 1. Let's take a look back, Rich, now at some of the Bengals' woes in the passing game.
Well, they're misfiring in the passing game early in this one. I'm a little surprised they've already thrown it 18 times. In the interception, we have drops. Quarterback not seen out in front of the throws. I mean, even when you're throwing to your best receiver, Chad Ochocinco, and of course, the last one to the fullback there. I think they need to run the ball. Off of that comes the big shots in the play-action game. That's really where they're at their best.
Tower formation. Benson, the deep back, and they give it to Cedric Benson. Has some running room. Lowers his shoulder and is out inside the 35-yard line, close to the 33. 3rd and 1 for the Cincinnati Bengals. They lead it 7-0 with just over 4 minutes left in the first half.
Keep an eye on Jordan Shipley.
Palmer got rid of it, but underthrows Chad Ochocinco.
Now, I can't understand that call. You got good field position. You got 3rd and short, and you take Cedric Benson out of the game and you try and throw the football. Now they're in 4-down territory. They're going to go for it. But these are difficult throws, these out-breaking routes on the boundary with underneath coverage.
Reggie Kelly, fine blocking tight end, checks in.
And Cedric's not in the game. Listen, this is Cedric Benson kind of weather. I mean, it's rainy, the field's a mess. Running the ball with power against a smaller front 7 for Carolina makes too much sense.
And Palmer will go from the shotgun. Shipley, the motion man. They pitch it over to Leonard. He's going to have a first down. Driven out of bounds at the 27-yard line by John Beeson, but not before he picked up the first down.
Well, you're going to see the guard get out in front. They also wound up pulling around Andrew Whitworth, the tackle. Brian Leonard is a big back and can get you some of those tough yards.
His 4th year out of Rutgers. Glad to have him back. He's been out with a sprained foot since the preseason. Inactive until today. Benson checks back in. 1st and 10 for Cincinnati. And they give it to Cedric Benson. Some running room, left side. Runs over a man. Some good, tough, hard running from 32. He just bulled over Sherrod Martin, the free safety.
Well, sometimes you don't have to see it, you can feel it and even listen to it. I mean, he just blows over the safety. And again, Bill, this is his kind of game. You get behind this big offensive line, get this guy about 35 carries in this ball game. This is what they've missed the first 2 weeks, the big power running game.
16 carries for Benson, 43 yards, and a touchdown. 1st and 10. Again, Benson. Left side, turns the corner. We have a flag on the play. Benson inside the 15, driven out of bounds close to the 13-yard line. Beeson and Anderson combined to make the stop.
Holding, number 84 of the offense, 10-yard penalty, remains first down.
And they get the rookie Gresham.
Well, Jermaine Gresham has got to learn to keep his hands in, particularly on the line, at the end of the line of scrimmage. A couple of times now it's happened to him. We saw it last week against Baltimore.
2.5 minutes remaining. They push him back all the way to the 26-yard line. They have to get it to the 11 for a first down. 1st and 20 for Cincinnati.
You can see him double coverage up top on Chad. Single down here to T.O.
Palmer under pressure. He's going to run it. Slides down at about the 16-yard line.
Well, it's not something we see a lot from Carson Palmer, but he's more than capable of doing it.
Well, we've reached the 2-minute warning. 7-0 Cincinnati. Threatening. We're back, and coming up on the Sprint Halftime Report, join JB, Dan, Shannon, Boomer, and Coach Cowher for all the latest NFL scores and highlights. That's all coming up on the Sprint Halftime Report. Bengals, overwhelming advantage in time of possession, almost 20 minutes compared to 8 for the Carolina Panthers. The Panthers have run just 3 offensive plays in this quarter. 2nd and 11. Double pass to Benson. Benson brought down at the 15-yard line by Godfrey, who has an interception already today.
Well, the Bengals are doing a much better job, Bill, in this quarter, converting 3rd downs, even some 4th downs, moving the chains, and keeping that Carolina offense off the field.
So 3rd and 9. Overall in the game, 41 plays for the Bengals, only 16 in the first half for Carolina. Palmer, empty backfield, will go from the shotgun. 4 wide receivers set. And that was almost picked off. Anderson again had a beat on it, in and out of his hands.
I don't want to keep repeating myself, but these are just some throws that you don't expect to see from Carson Palmer. Look at, he got underneath coverage there. Look at James Anderson. Does a great job driving on that route, knowing that he's got help over the top from Sherrod Martin.
Ocho Cinco lost a shoe, but it's a wet field, so he didn't put his foot down, didn't want to get his sock wet. So Nugent, who has been perfect as a Bengal, is on to try a 33-yard field goal. And he is still perfect. 7 for 7 as a Cincinnati Bengal, and extends Cincinnati's lead with 1:10 left to go in the half. It's 10-0 Bengals. After the Nugent field goal, 1:10 left to go in the half. Been a rough opening half for Carson Palmer, 8 of 21, 89 yards. No touchdowns, 2 interceptions, but the Bengals still lead at 10-0. Goodson is the deep man, takes it at the 3. Out across the 25, falling forward to close to the 28-yard line, and that's where Jimmy Clausen and the Panthers will take over with 1:04 left in the half. Just over a minute to go in the opening half. Only the 4th offensive snap for the Carolina Panthers in the second quarter. How aggressive do you think they're going to be here, Rich?
I don't think they're going to be very aggressive. I think you want to get some completions for Jimmy, get him a little confidence before he goes in at halftime. Just 1 completion so far here in the first half.
Goodson is in the backfield.
Check it down. There you go.
And Goodson can't bring it in. Let's take a look at the rookie out of Notre Dame.
Well, as they didn't get off to a good start, they fumbled the exchange from center, and of course, Cincinnati is able to come up with it. Get his only completion of the day to Mike Goodson, and of course, defense gets a big turnover. You go back the very next play and turn it over, and I think he's finding out things are a little bit more difficult here at the next level.
On his first drive last week, Clausen came in, marched the Panthers 78 yards down the field before the drive stalled inside the 4-yard line. Goodson again is in the backfield. Clausen is changing the play. 2nd and 10, and here they come on the all-out blitz.
Got to get rid of it. Can't hold it.
He is sacked. Frosty Rucker. He's been seeing more and more action rotating in at defensive end, and a big play there. Quarterback sack on Clausen.
Yeah, without Antoine Odom, Frosty Rucker right here at the bottom of your screen. And again, this should never happen. You look right there, the confusion. Jeff Schwartz is actually blocking Frosty Rucker, and for some reason at the last minute he tries to come off on the safety in Duque. Stay on your man. You have a back in there. This ball's got to come out. Jimmy can't hold it when they're bringing extra defenders. Well, they look out of sorts offensively, and a big problem that Jimmy's going to have, Bill, the rest of the day is they're very young and inexperienced at wide receiver. I mean, aside from Steve Smith, they only have 2 other receivers dressed today, and they're both rookies.
Well, they have the youngest roster in the NFL with 12 rookies or first-year players. The average age is 25 and a half.
Yeah, 12 rookies. I mean, that's almost 25% of your roster, and just 5 players who are 30 and older. And one of them is a 40-year-old kicker, John Casey.
After the Cincinnati timeout, ball is loose, flying through the air, and the Bengals are going to have it.
Boy, the one thing you didn't want to do before halftime, turn the football over and give Cincinnati a short field with 42 seconds left.
Morgan Trent recovered it for the Bengals.
Well, that's just on the back. It's a good job with the exchange from Jimmy. He puts it out there, and Mike Goodson just loses it.
So 42 seconds left in the half for the Bengals, and they'll go from the Carolina 27-yard line.
Well, the one thing they couldn't do today is turn the football over. They already have 3. They have 13 turnovers through 10 quarters of football, and you're not going to win games by doing that.
Leonard is in the game. Bengals looking to extend their lead after the fumble recovery. Palmer guns it. That's caught by Shipley. Nice grab by the rookie. And he's down inside the 5-yard line.
Well, great job by Carson getting them lined up, saving the timeout. I've been really impressed with Jordan Shipley.
That was good for 22 yards.
Up, false start.
And another false start penalty on Cincinnati.
Well, they'll run some time off the clock here. Not going to kill them. They have the one timeout, but boy, the penalties in this part of the field. Problem last week is a problem again this week. Carson talked about all the extra work.
False start, number 74 offense. 5-yard penalty, still first down. By rule, under a minute with the game clock running, a 10-second runoff is required. However, Cincinnati's taking a timeout. Timeout Cincinnati, third and final team timeout.
And that will be the last timeout for the Bengals. Stop the clock. Looking for more before halftime. So after the false start and the timeout by the Bengals, their last 18 seconds remaining.
Carson's got to be smart here. Obviously, you can't take a sack. You got to throw the ball into the end zone.
First and goal. Palmer with time, and that was intended for Terrell Owens, who was well covered. Sherrod Martin.
Well, you got 2 more shots with 15 seconds. I like the idea, trying to get your bigger receiver, T.O., matched up inside here. The holes in the windows down here are very tight. It's a great shot right there. You can see Carson trying to stick it in there.
Second and goal. 15 seconds remaining. Leonard in the backfield with Palmer. Showing blitz, and here they come. Palmer gets rid of it. That's caught at the 5 by Gresham.
Well, you got to clock it right now. Got to
No
clock
timeouts left. They can't stop it.
Oh, geez, you got to be kidding me. Oh, they ain't going to get it done.
Oh, goodness gracious.
That can't happen in that situation. With a veteran football team and a quarterback like Carson, there's no excuse.
And the Panthers are making their way to the locker room. Carson is smiling, but he's not feeling very good about that.
Well, look at this. Part of the problem is you got your right tackle. He can't get lined up. Dennis Rowe, remember, he had the penalty earlier in the drive.
Now we'll be back with the Spread Halftime Report after this message and a word from your local CBS station. Ready to start the second half in Charlotte, North Carolina. 10-0 Bengals over the Panthers. Bill McAtee back with Rich Gannon. It was kind of a sloppy first half. 5 turnovers, and the Bengals unable to come away with points before halftime.
Yeah, really, neither offense looked good, Bill. You're right. Sloppy on both sides. If you're Cincinnati defensively, you have to be pleased. I mean, you've generated 3 turnovers for your offense. You've given up just 2 first downs and 50 yards of total offense. But right now, they got to get things cleaned up defensively on both sides of the ball. Offensively, you look at these numbers, Cincinnati has dominated time of possession, but they haven't really been able to do much with it in the red zone. I think Carson Palmer, to me, has looked erratic. He's taken some unnecessary shots. He's thrown some interceptions. And, of course, Carolina, 13 turnovers in the first 10 quarters of football. 2 lost fumbles today and an interception by Jimmy. They have to get things going offensively.
Our points of protection presented by Allstate as we are ready to go. Start the third quarter. Panthers won the toss. They deferred to the second half, and so Jimmy Clausen will go back to work. And Rich, what do you think Jimmy has to do now in the second half? This obviously is not what you want. You don't want your rookie quarterback to have to bring you from behind, but you're only down by 10.
Well, they haven't had a lot of shots, but I mean, they got to take care of the football, and I really think they have to get Steve Smith involved in this game.
Goodson from the 3. And he is brought down hard, close to the 24-yard line. And let's take a look at the numbers from the opening half.
Well, they're ugly if you're Carolina offensively, and you just look at that plays in opponent's territory. They've been down there twice. The turnovers really inexcusable, and of course the time of possession. They just haven't had a lot of opportunities, and when they get them, they turn the ball over. We have to get something going here this first drive. I think Steve Smith, he's been quiet all day today. They have to start taking some shots.
D'Angelo Williams in the backfield alone to start. 1st and 10 from the 24.
There you go. Take a shot.
Play action. Clausen on the move and finally has to throw it away. In the first half, the Bengals had more plays in Carolina territory, 21, than the Panthers had total plays in the first half, 19.
Well, you can just see the frustration for Jimmy. And they're going to double Steve Smith. And then what they're going to do is they're going to bring a safety down in the box to try and stop the run. And if the tight end can't win, if the other receiver can't win against one-on-one, you're going to have a long day. And that's what's happened so far here against the Bengals.
Clausen 1 of 6 for 14 yards.
You see the safety sneaking down.
Interception and a fumble. He's going to throw it. Slings it out there, and that's caught. Good crisp throw to David Geddes, the rookie out of Baylor, the 6th-round draft pick.
Well, that's the thing that John Fox liked about Jimmy Clausen. He doesn't hold the ball. It comes out quick. He's very accurate. I think he's got good mobility. And as John told us on Friday, he's got good football IQ. I mean, he understands what to do. I think he understands the protections. Now I think it's important for the players around him to begin to make some plays as well.
So 3rd and 1. Jonathan Stewart is the deep back in the offset eye.
Now they got a false start from the left and right guard. Man, you just can't do that.
And you go from
false start. Number 74 offense, 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
Jeff Schwartz again. You go from a very manageable 3rd and 1 to 3rd and 6.
You have a different quarterback in there, maybe a little different cadence than Matt Moore. And I don't care who's playing quarterback. If you have mental errors, miss assignments, you turn the football over, and you commit dumb penalties, you give yourself no chance to win against a defense like this.
So they move it back to the 28-yard line. Stewart remains in the game. That's Goodson in motion. Clausen. And the slant route to Goodson, and that was a very catchable ball. Started running before he brought it in. Well, so the Panthers will have to punt on 4th down.
Well, you see Carolina repeating plays. We saw this one earlier. Little option route by the back out of the backfield. Mike Goodson, he caught a couple early in the first half. Let that one get right through his fingertips.
Juan Cosby is back deep for Cincinnati. This is going to be a short punt. Fielded at the 35 by Cosby. And again, the Bengals with very good field position to start. Opening possession for Carson Palmer and company. Coming up, we return to Charlotte. 10-0 Bengals. 196 total yards for the Bengals, 59 for the Carolina Panthers. Opening possession of the second half for Cincinnati. Benson left side, cuts it back, and is out across the 45 to the 46-yard line. James Anderson made the stop. Well, pick up a 4, 2nd and 6 for the Bengals. They lead 10-0. Pump fake, Palmer. So T.O. cross midfield into Carolina territory to the 49.
Well, they have a slant on the backside and they have spacing on the front side. All 3 receivers going to go up and hook up and just post up, and that's what T.O. does well against smaller corners. You see Carson start to his left, come back, Good accurate throw on the outside away from the corner. That's the thing I always liked about T.O., his big body.
3 catches for 29 yards. Only the 3rd receiver in NFL history to go over 15,000 yards in his career. They'll keep it on the ground. Great penetration by the Panthers. Ed Johnson was the first one there.
You know, the Bengals have struggled in some of these 3rd and short situations. This is just an excellent effort by Ed Johnson. You're going to see him at the top of your screen. Penetration. It's a great job getting on the outside shoulder of Nate Livings and beating him to the ball carrier.
The Carolina defense 5th in the NFL in negative plays, coming in with 16. Munnerlyn back to receive the punt. He lets it bounce, and it goes into the end zone for a touchback. A 51-yard punt, but we have a flag down at midfield. Ken Pete Morelli's our referee today.
Illegal formation. Number 51 of the kicking team, number 51, did not report. A 5-yard penalty will be added from the touch by spot. First down, timeout.
Dan Skuda, the timeout on the field. 10-0 Bengals. And we're back. Steve Smith, the 4-time Pro Bowler, without a catch so far. Panthers will keep it on the ground. Tough running inside by D'Angelo Williams.
You know, he's still an extremely dangerous receiver, Bill, when you watch Steve Smith, and yet I'm sure he's very frustrated. Doesn't have a catch yet today. It's so important with these receivers. I know I've dealt with a lot of them who are very temperamental, but you have to get them involved in the game early, and they've not been able to do that. I think you have to move them around formationally, motion them, find a way to get him some touches early here in the 3rd quarter.
No gain on first down. 2nd and 10 for Carolina. Clausen will throw. Has time. And that is caught by Geddes, who slipped and was able to come back and get the football. Nice grab by the rookie out of Baylor.
A really nice job by David Geddes here. You're going to see him slip at the top of the route, but has enough sense to get up and good concentration working back down the sideline there against a very good corner in Leon Hall.
And that was good for 14 yards and a first down. Carolina at their own 39-yard line. Coming on the blitz, Williams to the 41.
Well, even D'Angelo Williams and Jonathan Stewart have had kind of a quiet day. It's a very good run defense they're up against in Cincinnati. They were top 5 defense a year ago, and the big reason why is their ability to stop the run. And I think Carolina can. The other thing that's hurting them a little bit right now, they're without their right tackle, Jeff Otah, who I think would really help. You'd also get Jeff Schwartz to move back inside to his natural position of guard.
Jonathan Stewart has checked in. They're going to throw it, and all alone, that's Jeff King, the tight end. And Clausen found him. Into Cincinnati territory, out of bounds at the 46.
This is a good example off of play action. This is what they liked about Jimmy Clausen coming out. Very accurate thrower. He's been in the pro-style system, and he can really chuck it.
Pickup of 13 yards. 1st and 10 for Carolina. The numbers improving for Clausen, now 4 of 10 for 50 yards. Again, they're going to throw. Checks it down to Stewart. Another nice pickup and a first down again for Carolina. But we've got a flag.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer. Number 90.
And it will be on the Bengals.
15-yard penalty. First down.
Well, first of all, really nice job by Jimmy Clausen checking it down to the backs. Good patience by him. Not down the field. Just do the next best thing. Check it down. This you can't do. If you're Pat Sims, you can't throw him to the ground. Well, you got to be smarter than that in that situation.
Sims, a backup defensive tackle. And again, Rich, you mentioned earlier the Bengals very aware of what happened a year ago. They went into play the Raiders, and they let the Raiders hang around. It was a game they felt they should win, and they let it get away from them. Yeah, 15 yards on the play, and then 15 more with the penalty.
Yeah, you have an offense that struggled the entire first half. You just can't give them extra opportunities.
D'Angelo Williams is the deep back, and he gets it with some running room, still on his feet. Down to the 1. Keith Rivers saved a touchdown.
This is a really nice job. They don't even block the safety, Roy Williams. He's going to come clean. But D'Angelo Williams does such a nice job. He's just going to run right through the tackle. He sees the safety. He knows it's coming. He works right back inside and picks up some big yards down in the red zone.
Chris Crocker was also there to stop him before he crossed the goal line. 1st and goal. Lawson lofts it. Is it a catch? No. In and out of the hands of the tight end, Dante Rosario.
Well, I like the call. Take a shot on 1st down, and if it's not there, throw it out of the back of the end zone. See Dante Rosario. Chris Crocker is not fooled. You need a perfect throw here to get it done, and that one just sails too much on Jimmy Clausen.
Fine defensive play, that time by the free safety Crocker.
Well, they got stuffed last week against Tampa Bay in this very situation down here in the red zone.
2nd and goal. Stewart, touchdown.
Well, you think about how the first half ended for Cincinnati. Their inability to convert points. Now they allow Carolina to come out here to start the second half and drive the length of the field and let them get right back in this football game. You can see Jonathan Stewart just always falling forward. Big, strong, powerful back that knows how to finish runs.
Sean Casey to make it a 3-point game, and does. So the Panthers get into the end zone with 8:16 left to go in the 3rd. 10-7 Cincinnati. Jimmy Clausen directs the scoring drive. 8 plays, 75 yards. Took about 3 minutes and 20 seconds off the clock. Panthers' first 7 possessions, they had just 2 plays over 10 yards. In that drive, they had 4. Bernard Scott will take a knee 6 yards deep in the end zone. Bengals will start 1st and 10 from their own 20-yard line when we come back to Charlotte. First and 10 for the Bengals from their own 20-yard line. Benson cuts it back inside. And he's got a 1st down. Cedric Benson. Charles Godfrey, the strong safety, made the stop.
They've done an outstanding job today running behind the left side of that offensive line. Left guard Nate Livings and Andrew Whitworth. And when you chart the Bengals through the first 2 weeks, a lot of their runs are to the left side of that offensive line.
Crowd chanting defense. Starting to get into this ball game. 10-7 Cincinnati, 7:35 now left to go in the 3rd. Benson to the 34-yard line. Well, it's not too late to play NFL.com's all-new fantasy football game, the first and only game with video. Play with your friends or compete against other NFL fans. Sign up at NFL.com/fantasy. Second down. Bengals lead at 10-7. 3-point game after the long drive by Carolina. Palmer, short drop, slant. Ooh, Shipley took a shot, but the rookie hung on. And that's why they love this kid. Talented rookie out of Texas. Led the Bengals with 5 catches for 42 yards last week.
Well, people keep comparing him to Wes Welker, and you keep making plays like this. I mean, he is tough. He's willing to go in there and do the dirty work in the middle, and he's able to hold on to it. Charles Godfrey has made some big hits in the secondary today for the Panthers.
It was good enough for a first down. So from their own 43-yard line, 1st and 10 for Cincinnati. Benson back up inside, lowers that shoulder to the 47. Chris Gamble made the stop.
We were talking about Cedric Benson, and I think he likes to run behind the left side of that offensive line, that zone run scheme, and you see that distribution today, a lot up in the middle there, but that left side has been very good so far this season. He's a very patient runner, and you know he always has the ability to wind it back and find those big creases on the backside as well.
So 2nd and 6 for Cincinnati. Trying to put together a drive to answer the scoring drive by Carolina. Palmer tried to change the play, but has to spend a timeout. So timeout on the field. It's 10-7 Bengals. Bengals balanced on offense, 26 running plays, 26 passes, 2nd and 6 after the timeout.
Again, changing plays at the line of scrimmage. You can see Carolina adjust as well in the secondary.
Benson into Carolina territory. And close to a first down.
Well, we've seen twice today where Cincinnati has tried to change plays at the line of scrimmage, and Carson has had to burn a timeout. And my sense is that they're trying to do too much with the number of young players on the field. Remember, you got 2 rookies out there with you, Jermaine Gresham and Jordan Shipley, and I think you do that because you're taking advantage of Carson Palmer's strengths as a quarterback to get you into the right play. But when you're burning that much time on the clock, there's confusion. Boy, I think you hurt yourself trying to do too much.
Inside of 5 minutes remaining in the third. Numbers for Benson, 71 yards. 1st and 10. Again, it's Benson back up inside. And to the 42-yard line, and he's been the workhorse today.
Bill, you mentioned workhorse, and I think Cedric Benson's the type of back that the more carries you give him, the stronger he gets late in games. And I just, he's a powerful runner. I mentioned earlier that this is his kind of day. When the weather's not great, field's kind of messy. He runs with power, great strength, and he's always finishing runs. And the big reason why they won so many football games last year was his ability to get the tough yards up inside.
23 carries today. Palmer. Incomplete. Took a shot and overthrew Chad Ochocinco. Well, tomorrow on TV's #1 comedy is Charlie's brother finally moving out. Find out on a new episode of 2.5 Men. Tomorrow only on CBS, America's #1 network. Big 3rd down upcoming for the Carolina Panthers. They want to stay close so their rookie quarterback doesn't have to do too much. Right now down by 3, 3rd and 7. Leonard in the backfield with Palmer. They rush 3. Palmer gets rid of it, incomplete. Caldwell was the intended receiver. Out comes the punting unit.
Big reason why Carson's forced to step up in the pocket. Better job with that pass rush by Carolina. They just bring 4, but they get it done.
Huber from his 45. High end over end punt. Mutterland makes the fair catch at the 11-yard line. 3:49 left to go in the third. 10-7 Cincinnati. Tough day so far for Carson Palmer. 12 of 28, 129 yards, no touchdowns, 2 interceptions. And here comes the rookie Clausen in his first NFL start. And he's going to throw it. Being chased, chucks it away. He was trying to hit his tight end, Jeff King, who was well covered.
Well, that last drive by Carolina was sharp. Right down the field, they go 80 yards and really got it started with the completion to get us, and of course gets the tight end right back involved with Jeff King. And getting it to these backs is never a bad thing either, and of course Jonathan Stewart gets in there at the end and finishes off that drive. But they needed something to jumpstart them in the second half. A big drive like that can sometimes do it.
Jordan Shipley, the rookie wide receiver for the Bengals, has a dinged shoulder. His return is probable, and bobbled snap, scramble for the football, and this could be big.
This is inexcusable. You talk about the importance, the things we take for granted. The quarterback-center exchange, the second time today now between Jimmy Clausen. Oh, they're lucky to get it back.
And they'll retain possession.
You look at the veteran Ryan Khalil and Jimmy Clausen. I don't know if that left. I don't know if Jimmy's just starting to pull out a little bit or was a little short. If you're a young quarterback, you've got to take the responsibility. It's your job to sit in there with the veteran center and make sure that you get that exchange.
So 3rd and 9 for Carolina. Clausen from the shotgun. With lots of time, finally dumps it off to Rosario, the tight end, upended, and he's going to be just short of a first down. Dante Rosario in his 4th year out of Oregon.
Boy, just short, but a tremendous effort by Dante Rosario diving to try and get the first down.
Meanwhile, we have a injured Panther down on the field.
Good protection here. You're going to see him kick it to Dante. Now watch right here. Watch him extend himself. And an excellent tackle by Michael Johnson.
Michael Johnson, who is 6'7", and can really bring it. Travell Wharton, the left guard, helped off the field. 4th and 1 for Carolina. Jason Baker standing back at his own 6-yard line. Quan Cosby again is the deep man for Cincinnati. Watch Fantasy Football Today to get the last-minute news and analysis you need to set your fantasy league lineup. It's live every Sunday at 11 a.m. Eastern, only CBSSports.com. Just over 3 minutes to go in the 3rd. Taking a little extra time trying to draw them off sides, but they stay disciplined. This is a returnable punt for Cosby. Brought down about midfield. So again, great field position for these Cincinnati Bengals. Well, coming next, Peyton and the Colts battle Kyle Orton and the Broncos, or the Chargers challenge the Seahawks, while the Raiders tangle with the Cardinals. Check your local listings for the game in your area. The NFL on a doubleheader day here on CBS.
The groundskeeper's not going to like this one, huh? Some divots.
Well, we've been lucky because there was heavy rain in the forecast, and we've had a little bit, but not much.
And you look at that average drive start, Cincinnati at their own 38. I mean, they've had great field position.
Right at midfield now. Palmer from the shotgun. Here they come on the blitz. Gets rid of it. Caldwell able to come away with it. Nice catch by Andre Caldwell. And once again, let's check in with JB in New York for an update.
All right, Bill and Rich, take a look here at Dallas spanning its lead. Tony Romo hooking up with Roy Williams. Nice pass play, 15 yards. That kept a 7-play, 90-yard drive. Dallas's D getting the job done against #1 offense in the league. Back to Bill and Rich.
JB, thank you. The Cowboys needed a win this week. Such high expectations for Dallas. 2nd down for Cincinnati. Benson bobbles the ball, comes right back to him, and he's close to a first down. James Anderson, the Sam linebacker, made the stop. Maybe just a little short.
Yeah, we've seen that with both teams today, where the quarterback exchange between the quarterback and the ball carrier hasn't been really clean. And as a quarterback, you have to run through that exchange point with Cedric Benson on that stretch play.
They were up in a hurry to run the quarterback sneak, and that is good enough for a first down. Inside the 40, down to the 39-yard line.
See, they do a nice job here catching Carolina off guard. This is what Carson Palmer gives you, the ability to get these guys lined up and get off a quick snap before the defense can get lined up.
They have not gone with the no huddle or muddle huddle much today. 1st and 10. They lead 10-7.
And you're seeing so much too deep coverage with Carolina.
Straight back. Gets rid of it. Chad Ochocinco to the 35-yard line. And again, let's go to New York and JB with an NFL update.
Bill and Rich, Cleveland Browns looking for their first win of the season. Looking impressive here. Seneca Wallace play action, hooking up with Ben Watson on a 1-yard touchdown play. That capped a 6-play, 86-yard drive. Key play, 48-yard run by Peyton Hillis. 17-14 Cleveland over Baltimore in the 4th. Bill and Rich.
All right, JB, the Browns ended last season with 4 straight wins, but dropped their first 2 here in 2010, both by 3 points or less, but leading the Ravens. 2nd and 6 for Cincinnati. Benson churns his way forward to the 32-yard line. Charles Johnson made the stop.
Here's how adding T.O. to your roster really helps. When you have T.O. and Chad, you get so many two-deep coverages. The best way to attack a two-deep coverage is to run Cedric Benson.
That's the end of the 3rd quarter. Back to Charlotte after this message and a word from your local station. Final quarter of play. Big 3rd and 3 for the Cincinnati Bengals from the Carolina 32-yard line. They lead by 3. Empty backfield for Carson Palmer. Short drop, the slant, incomplete, intended for Terrell Owens. Richard Marshall had great coverage, the right corner.
Well, you got to be perfect on these throws. Good coverage by Richard Marshall, and you can't miss on the back shoulder on those slant routes.
So that will bring out Mike Nugent, who had a 54-yarder in week 1, on to try a 50-yard field goal. Been perfect as a Bengal, 7 for 7. On its way, plenty of leg and good. Nugent comes through again to extend the Cincinnati lead, 13-7. Mike Nugent was the special teams player of the week in the AFC last week with 5 field goals in the win over the Ravens. Now he has a 50-yarder to go with his 54-yarder in week 1. Set to kick it off. 14:53 left to play. 13-7 Cincinnati. And how about that? All the way back near the back of the end zone. Goodson takes a knee, and they'll bring it out to the 20. And that's where the Panthers, Jimmy Clausen, will start 1st and 10. And again, this is a situation, Clausen, even though he's had a couple of turnovers, you don't want him to take too many chances out there.
Yeah, you can see Bill, he's got a glove on that left hand, and can't say that that's the reason why they're having the problems with the quarterback center exchange, but that's something we saw him do in practice. Obviously it wasn't raining, but no rain now, and he still has that left glove on.
King in motion, the tight end. 1st down, Clausen will throw. Out route to King, incomplete, underthrown.
You see Jimmy Clausen, what they'll do is they'll call the play, and they actually call a number that coincides with the play on his wrist. And there are a lot of them on there. And that's the way he does it. I never liked wearing the wristband. I like the idea of the quarterback coach or the play caller talking directly into my headset, me memorizing the formations. I thought that was a more efficient way to learn the offense.
And Jonathan Stewart in the backfield. 2nd and 10 after the incomplete pass. They're going to keep it on the ground. Stewart tries to get to the outside, and he will lose 2. Keith Rivers, the Will linebacker, made the stop. Didn't play last week because of a foot injury. Missed 3 games last season, but still finished second on the Bengals in tackles.
Yeah, I think he's really starting to figure things out. You mentioned that he missed some practice time, but he and Ray Maraluga, that's a pretty good pair of linebackers opposite Tahani Jones there in the middle of that defense.
So 3rd and 11 for Carolina.
And we got Steve Smith in the slot. Cincinnati also has one of their better cover corners in there, Leon Hall. It's a good matchup.
The rush 4. Clausen has to step up. He's going to take off and will not get the first down. Well short. Hook slide at the 24. So the Panthers will have to punt.
Now you make things difficult against this defense when you can't have success on the early downs. Very difficult to convert 3rd and longs, particularly against this Cincinnati defense.
Jason Baker, Panthers all-time punt leader, had a 44-yard average last season. Cosby have some room at the 34. And upended across the 40 to the 42-yard line by Tyrell Sutton. A 43-yard punt. 13-7 Cincinnati. Bengals take over their own 43-yard line. Palmer from the shotgun on first down. Ocho Cinco. And he is into Carolina territory. James Anderson made the stop at the 46-yard line.
Yeah, they're trying to get lined up real quick.
We have another Panther down on the field. Looks like it's the nickelback, Captain Munnerlyn. 2nd year out of South Carolina, 7th round pick in 09. So timeout on the field. 13:08 left. This is the 31st play by the Bengals in Carolina territory. Shipley in motion, 1st and 10. Carson changing the play. 4-man front for Carolina. Benson keeps the legs churning, and down inside the 45 to the 44, Everett Brown made the stop. The numbers for Batman and Robin.
No, not huge. And I think Carolina, you know, overall, I thought they've done a nice job today defensively, limiting the big explosive plays from Cincinnati.
Second and 8. As he does so often, Palmer resetting things. Straight back with time. And threw it behind Chad Ocho Cinco. And again, they just seem to be off rhythm a little bit.
Well, that's the same route they ran earlier in the game in the first quarter where Chad didn't come out of the cut. Now you watch him speed out of it, and Carson just misses him behind him. And that's a very difficult route to adjust to when it's thrown on your back shoulder. You're running full speed out of that break.
The crowd comes alive on 3rd and 8. 5 of 14 in 3rd down conversions. The Panthers only 1 of 8. From the Carolina 45-yard line, Palmer under pressure and sacked. Carson Palmer goes down. Charles Johnson. He was listed as questionable this week with a calf injury, but gets a big play there.
Well, this is what they needed, pressure from this front 4. They did an excellent job in the preseason, 19 sacks, only 1 coming into today's game. But you see right there, good push up inside by Charles Johnson.
And Captain Munnerlyn, who was injured earlier, is back to return this punt that was almost blocked. And out of bounds. Inside the 20-yard line. Panthers are down by 6 here in the 4th quarter. First and 10 from the Carolina 15-yard line. Clausen going up top. Slings it for Geddes and almost intercepted. Leon Hall had a shot at it. Geddes was well covered.
Well, you look at the production between the two running backs, D'Angelo Williams and Jonathan Stewart, 15 carries, 59 yards. And that's not going to get it done. I mean, I don't know if there's a team that has a pair of backs quite like these two. And the running game and the offensive line have to carry this unit until the young quarterback and receivers figure things out.
And yet they're still just down by 6. Cincinnati has allowed Carolina to stay in the ball game. Williams reverses his field now with some running room. And out to the 30-yard line, a first down. Keith Rivers finally made the stop. That was good for 14 yards.
And this is what D'Angelo Williams does as well as any back. Watch him start winding it back. And right here, he just kicks it. Nice little move there. Freezes the linebacker, Dhani Jones. He's not going to make that tackle. He can really accelerate in the hole.
60 yards for Williams. First and 10 from the 30. Clausen checks it down. That's Stewart. Moves one tackler and finally brought down after a pickup of 2. Dhani Jones made the stop.
Now, this is where Jimmy Clausen can really help himself, knowing who you're throwing to. It's a lot different throwing to these backs and tight ends than it is to a guy like Steve Smith. And taking a little off the ball, really focusing in on location to those backs is really important. We saw earlier in the game he missed a couple throws to Mike Goodson. The ball had a lot of velocity on it, difficult for those backs to make the catch in space.
Number 89, Steve Smith, still without a catch. He's at the bottom of your screen. 2nd and 7, showing blitz, and here they come. Clausen to the sideline, and there's the catch for Smith, the first one of the day.
Well, really nice job by Jimmy Clausen here. You're going to see the pressure. He steps up. But look at the concentration by Steve Smith on the boundary. I mean, that is not an easy catch. Not only to make the catch, but to make sure you get both feet down.
Working on a streak of 5 consecutive games with at least 1 touchdown catch. 8 catches for 141 yards and both Carolina touchdowns coming in today. Set of downs for the Panthers. Puts it on the ground. This is Stewart. Falls on the turf. Cincinnati picks it up and the Bengals have the football. Robert Gathers.
Well, that's unfortunate for Jonathan Stewart, but the 4 turnovers, Bill, you just don't give yourself a chance. I don't even know if this one gets knocked out. Oh, it sure does. And Robert Gathers right there to make the play. You're going to see a defender come flying in here and making a stop. Robert Gathers does a nice job picking that ball back out. It's Dhani Jones. I don't know if Jonathan Stewart ever felt him. Dhani came right around that pile and was right there to meet him in the hole.
And a costly turnover potentially for the Carolina Panthers, although the Bengals have not been able to take advantage. First and 10, Palmer to T.O. Has some running room. Terrell Owens, a first down for Cincinnati. And inside the 25, down to the 24-yard line, goes T.O.
Well, if you have any questions or concerns about T.O.'s speed, I mean, that's it right there. To be able to catch a little short route in the flat and really make somebody miss and just explode. Nice job by Carton. Now watch this. John Beeson's an excellent open field tackler, but T.O. is a handful in space.
First and 10 for Cincinnati. Just under 9 minutes remaining.
Oh, you got the tight end.
Palmer rolling out. Has the rookie Gresham with running room. Gresham's inside the 10 and down to the 5-yard line.
Well, this is something that they didn't have in the offense a year ago. A tight end that can really make some plays in the passing game. They've done an excellent job using him in the screen game. You're going to see him bring him back underneath on a little slide route. And Jermaine Gresham is very good after the catch.
They say he stepped out at the 7. That was good for a pickup of 17 yards. So first and goal for the Bengals. Looking for the knockout punch here against the Carolina Panthers. Palmer, Benson, touchdown. Carson Palmer to Cedric Benson.
Well, the misdirection has really hurt Carolina. You're going to see Cedric Benson. He's just going to come out into the flat, and Carson's going to roll right back out. And they never field Cedric Benson or account for him in the passing game. You'll see T.O., he goes to the corner, and that ties up Chris Gamble, and there's no one there in the flat for Cedric Benson.
And the Bengals are going to go for 2. Trying to make it 21-7. 8:11 left to play. And the Panthers are saying a false start, and it was.
Offense.
Now you kick it.
5-yard penalty. Retry.
Now Cook the center. So on comes the kicking unit.
I just don't understand this offensive line, the penalties and the miscommunication, particularly in this part of the field. Bill, it was an issue last week, again here today. We saw it right before the half. And Carson told us that they spent a lot of time this week working on that specific part of their game.
Carson Palmer, 3 of 3 for 37 yards in that drive. Short drive after the Stewart fumble. Extra point by Nugent is good. So 20-7 with 8:11 left to play. And coming up next, Peyton and the Colts battle Kyle Orton and the Broncos. The Chargers challenge the Seahawks. The Raiders tangle with the Cardinals. Check your local listing for the game in your area. It's the NFL on CBS on a doubleheader Sunday. Jonathan Stewart, the costly fumble, jarred loose by Dhani Jones. Carson Palmer, it's been a tough day, but again, they're going to apparently come away with a W. It wasn't a great game last week. And we asked Carson, well, you know, you won the game 15-10. What positives could you take away from it? And he just sort of scratched his head and said none.
Yeah, I get the sense he's frustrated with where they're at offensively. They have some young players with Jordan Shipley and Jermaine Gresham. I think there's going to be, there's a little learning curve that goes on there. You have a new receiver in T.O. They're trying to figure out things in the receiving game, but you got to clean the pre-snap penalties up and the communication issues that they're having at the line of scrimmage.
Carson had a chance to work with Shipley and Gresham during the OTAs and minicamp, but T.O. didn't sign until the first day of training camp. Touchback, they'll bring it out to the 20-yard line, and let's take a look at the turnovers by the Panthers today, because that has been one of the big stories.
Well, self-inflicted wounds, and right here, the quarterback-center exchange, Bill, we saw a couple of them today in the interception. Fumbles by the running backs. I mean, everyone's taking a turn. It's not one guy, but you just got to do a better job taking care of the football. You look at that, 7 turnovers in the last 2 games against some pretty good defenses. That's the first thing they need to get cleaned up. Forget about who's playing quarterback. Just take better care of the football.
Clausen back in the shotgun on first down. En route to Smith, has some room.
Oh, he better put the football away.
Always so tough in yards after the catch. And that's going to be a Carolina first down.
Well, I love Steve Smith. I love his toughness, his grittiness. But right here, you make a good play. You've turned the ball over 4 times as an offense. Put the ball away on the boundary. You got young players at that position that are watching you.
Clausen on first down. Steps it up. And he'll pick up 3 or 4 yards and a late flag.
Illegal use of hands. Hands to the face. Number 91, 5-yard penalty. First down.
Call that on Gathers.
Well, Jimmy Clausen does a nice job here stepping up in the pocket. Not only that, watch, he's got 2 hands on the ball. He's going to pull it right back in. He's got 2 hands on it again. And right here, Robert Gathers comes in. Looks like he gets a hand up under Jimmy's face mask.
So they spot it at the Panthers' 39-yard line. 7.5 minutes remaining. 20-7 Cincinnati. Showing blitz. They keep it on the ground. D'Angelo Williams, tough running. Across the 43, close to the 44-yard line. Tahani Jones again made the stop.
Well, this is what they need to do. They need to pick the pace up offensively. Get in and out of the huddle, get your 2-minute offense earlier here, kind of get something going.
Second down. Clausen, lots of time, able to get rid of it, and that's caught by Geddes for a first down.
Well, he's making some very good contested throws. I mean, some tight throws into coverage, but he's putting it in the right position. He's giving his receivers a chance to make a play.
Into Cincinnati territory. Clock continues to run. 13-point Cincinnati lead. Goodson is checked into the game in the backfield. Clausen will have a stunt. Able to get away from the first man and caught by Smith. Another first down. Leon Hall made the tackle. And we have a flag on the play back at the 45-yard line of the Panthers.
Holding. Number 69 offense. 10-yard penalty remains. First down.
Jordan Gross, the Pro Bowl left tackle.
Well, that's unfortunate. Jimmy Clausen made a really nice play there, escaping the rush. They don't even block the safety. Jimmy recognizes it, steps up and makes a great throw. And of course, the penalties, turnovers and penalties. I mean, it's a young football team, and you're going to have missed assignments and some mental errors. The quicker they can grow up as an offense and eliminate the mistakes, the better off they'll be.
So they move it all the way back to the 42-yard line. First and 20. Showing blitz.
Screen.
And they run the screen. Goodson able to get to the corner. Goodson. Big gain to the 40-yard line, down all the way to the 38 of the Cincinnati Bengals.
Well, you start getting that pass rush. Nice job. Nice play call here by Carolina. This is the best way to slow up this pass rush. You got some offensive linemen that are athletic that can get out in front of that screen.
And they're up in a hurry. Moving the chains, getting everything set. That was the first down. Numbers for Clausen now 11 of 21, 125 yards and an interception. That was good for 20. Clausen will throw again. Under pressure and then throws it away. Let's see if they get him for intentional grounding. They won't because Goodson was in the area.
Well, he moves well in the pocket. He's got good awareness, and I think he understands what the issues are protection-wise. You see him sliding around here. I like how he pulls that ball back in, and he throws it away, doesn't take a sack. See him playing much better here, Bill, in the second half. I think he's settled down a little bit.
As the Panthers on the move, 5:15 left to play. 20-7 Cincinnati. Goodson stays in the game. And productive today. Cincinnati 38. Clausen guns it. He's got a pretty good arm, and we've got a late flag on the play. Dante Rosario with the catch.
Pass interference, number 88 offense. 10-yard penalty. Still third down.
They get Rosario for pushing off.
Well, that's how you get open. Can't extend your hands.
So they'll march him back all the way to the 48-yard line.
Good look at Matt Moore.
Yep, he had a nice run down the stretch to end last season, but his numbers this year, 20 of 49, 307 yards, 2 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, a couple of fumbles. Just weren't getting it done for this Carolina offense.
Here comes the pressure.
Showing blitz, back out of it. Clausen able to get it to Goodson. Nice individual effort for Goodson, and down to the 44-yard line. Geno Atkins made the stop. Goodson in his second year out of Texas A&M, 4th-round pick back in '09. Counted for 128 total yards last week against Tampa Bay. 33 receiving, 20 rushing, and 75 return yards. Another productive day today. 3rd and 16 for Carolina. That is caught by Rosario, close to the 40-yard line. It'll bring up 4th and long.
Be a 30-second timeout.
The Carolina Panthers will take a timeout. And again, coming up next, Peyton and the Colts battle Kyle Orton, and the Broncos, Chargers challenge the Seahawks. The Raiders tangle with the Cardinals. Check your local listings for the game in your area. The NFL on CBS. So your assessment, Rich, of Jimmy Clausen so far today?
Well, it's been up and down. But really disappointed with the fact that they've turned the football over, and Jimmy's had a big part in that with the fumbled exchanges from center, the other issue with the interceptions. But he's looked a lot better here, Bill, later in the game, where he's had a chance to set his feet and move around and make some throws. I think this is just a learning experience for him each week out. You hope you see improvement, but the big thing you have to impress upon him is taking care of the football. He's been as bad as Matt Moore in terms of turning the football over and being careless with it.
He started 1 of 7, 12 of 17 since. But now 4th and 12. Here they come on the blitz. Clausen is hit hard. Incomplete, and he was drilled by Chris Crocker.
Well, what did I tell Jimmy on Friday? In a critical situation, Mike Zimmer is going to bring pressure. We got 4th and 12. You're going to see the pressure up top. He never even feels the safety. And this is something he's got to learn. When you put the tape on Monday and you watch Peyton Manning or Brett Favre or Drew Brees play, you never see him get hit in the back of the head by a weak safety blitz. It just doesn't happen. Jimmy has to learn in critical situations, you have to find those safeties.
So the ball goes over on downs. 4:03 left to play. The Bengals will have it. We'll try to run some time off the clock.
Well, those hits hurt in more ways than one.
The film is not all he's going to be thinking about on Monday. First down, Benson. Stopped at the line of scrimmage. Bengals have one of the tougher schedules in the NFL, but good stretch going forward. They'll play Cleveland next week on the road, then back at home against Tampa Bay. Bengals will snap today a 5-game road losing streak. And we have an injured player on the field. Cedric Benson on his feet, but being attended to. 27 carries, 81 yards, and a touchdown today for Cedric Benson. Rushed for 1,250 yards last season despite missing 3.5 games.
He's their workhorse.
He has been reborn with the Cincinnati Bengals.
I think it's time now you get a guy like Bernard Scott or Brian Leonard in there a little bit. Let them pound away. Save Cedric Benson for next week.
So 2nd and 10 for Cincinnati. 3:41 left to go.
Well, Cincinnati's got some things, Bill. They need to get cleaned up offensively. I mean, certainly not a clean performance out of that group, and I'm sure Bob Bratkowski is going to be pretty hard on when they watch that film tomorrow. There's too many mistakes out of this group.
Bernard Scott has checked in now for the Bengals. Clock running, 2nd and 10. They come on the blitz. Scott spun down at about the 42-yard line by Dan Connor. Look ahead for the Carolina Panthers. Going to have to go to New Orleans next week. Then they play here at home against the Bears. They have a bye the following week. Then home against San Francisco, at St. Louis, and home against New Orleans.
And Jimmy Clausen's going to get his first taste of Greg Williams and that New Orleans defense. You know, Greg Williams likes to bring pressure. Chicago's playing better defensively. San Francisco has a good defense out there with Greg Minuski, their defensive coordinator. So it doesn't get any easier for Jimmy Clausen in this offense.
Bengals have had good success against NFC teams. This will be 5 wins in 6 games against teams from the NFC. John Fox, he and Marvin have been friends for a long time. They went against each other as defensive coordinators in Super Bowl 35. Marvin, of course, for the Ravens. John for the Giants. Marvin's Ravens allowed the Giants just 152 net yards, forced 5 turnovers in that 34-7 win. Leonard to midfield. Beeson made the tackle. Clock continues to run. 3 minutes left.
I get the sense that John Fox is a little frustrated. You know, this offseason was defined by subtraction as the Panthers said goodbye to a number of productive and pricey players and really didn't spend a lot of money in free agency, Bill. And I think the one that really hurt was losing Julius Peppers. I mean, and getting nothing, absolutely nothing for him. That was very frustrating for John Fox.
Well, the earlier sack by Charles Johnson was the first of the game for the Panthers and just the second of the season. So Huber on to punt, his own 37-yard line. That's a terrific high punt. Wonderland will let it bounce, and great job. It's down at about the 2-yard line. Morgan Trent raced down the field to get to it.
You talk about winning in all 3 phases of the game, and the thing that's jumped out at me is Cincinnati. Both these kickers have done an outstanding job. I mean, Mike Nugent's been perfect this season. Kevin Huber's done a good job placing the ball in some of these punts. And in order to win and win big in this league, you have to have good kickers. I think Cincinnati's got a pair of them.
So Carolina will take over. They spotted at the 4-yard line. 96 yards to go for Clausen. Goodson is in the backfield. On the shotgun. They rush 4. Incomplete. Geddes was the intended receiver.
Well, there's some unfair criticism, I thought anyway, directed at Jimmy Clausen prior to the draft coming out of Notre Dame. And I think it had a real impact on a number of teams' decision to pass on him early in the draft. And
just celebrated his 23rd birthday. By the way, you talk about the battle of field position. This is the 3rd time today that the Panthers have started inside their own 5-yard line. Clausen from the end zone. Checks it down to Goodson. Goodson fighting for extra yardage, close to a first down. Brandon Jones made the stop. He had an outstanding game last week, did Jones, in the win over Baltimore. Led the Bengals with 12 tackles and had an interception. Bengals trying to close it out. They lead 20-7. Chad Ochocinco feeling very relaxed. 20-7 Cincinnati. 2 minutes left to go. 3rd and 1 for Clausen and the Panthers. Up top, going deep. Brandon LaFell, that was a great over-the-shoulder grab because he was well covered.
well, there you go. There's the future of the Carolina Panthers. Jimmy Clausen to Brandon LaFell. A good adjustment here. Way to give him a chance, and a nice adjustment by LaFell on the sidelines. Not an easy catch.
Morgan Trent had pretty good coverage. Adam Jones out today. Trent is the nickel back. That was good for 44 yards.
Here comes the blitz. You got to get rid of it. There
He does, and he was clobbered. And we've got a flag on the play. Let's see what the call is.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, number 29. 15-yard penalty, first down.
Call it on Leon Hall, who was coming on the corner blitz.
Well, trying to give a number of different looks to confuse him. Marvin Lewis was not happy with that call. You got to be able to pull off, though, as they're throwing it. Going to give the benefit of the doubt to these quarterbacks now. You and I did a game last week.
A couple of questionable calls on the Ravens.
Carson Palmer was laughing about it last night. It's about time I started getting some of those calls.
Wilson steps up and out to Goodson, who gets popped. And another flag. And again, it really deals with the ability of the defensive player to pull up once you commit. Was he committed? Hard to say.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness. Number 25 to the defense. Unnecessary late hit to the head. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
Well, regardless, I mean, it's 2 in a row out of the defense, and it boils down to discipline. I mean, this has got to get cleaned up. You know, this is a good football team we're looking at in Cincinnati, but Bill, on both sides of the ball, they've been sloppy today. There's things that they need to get cleaned up if they're going to come back and repeat as AFC North champs.
Well, they march it all the way down inside the 15 with the penalties, down to the 14, and now we have another flag. So getting sloppy here with 1:42 left to play.
False start. Number 70 offense. 5-yard penalty remains first down.
Travell Wharton, the left guard.
A little talking going on late in the game between the two teams. Sloppy. Looks a little bit like a preseason game, late in the preseason.
Total penalties. Clausen, incomplete, intended for Brandon LaFell. And for a change, no flag.
You see at the top of your screen a little slant route. Looked like
might have been an early bump there by Morgan
like Morgan Trent got there a little bit early, yeah.
Gotten away with one there. 2nd and 15. Clock stops, 1:39 left to go.
And we got one-on-one coverage down the bottom here. Big shot.
Coverage of LaFell.
Not anymore. They just cut
Clausen
over here.
To the sideline. Smith. And that's a catch. Got both feet down.
What did Leon Hall tell us about Steve Smith? He said he brings attitude to the game. And that was the big thing from the secondary standpoint of Cincinnati. They didn't want Steve Smith to get started. They wanted to discourage him. Really did a good job taking him out of the game in the first half.
Chinadum and Dukwe pushed him out of bounds. He made some big plays last week against the Ravens, including an interception. So 3rd and 13 for Carolina. Pull down territory. Clausen to the end zone. Incomplete. LaFell couldn't bring it down.
Well, that's one Jimmy liked to have back. Give him a chance, but boy, you can't throw it that high. You got to put it on his body. He's a big, tall receiver. Give him a ball he can catch and still stay on the field.
LaFell is the rookie out of LSU, 3rd-round draft pick. Had a very strong camp. Started week 1, but has been battling a hamstring. He was a game-time decision today. LSU's 2nd all-time leading receiver. So 4th and 13 for Carolina. Last gasp here for the Panthers.
Critical situation. Here comes pressure.
Blitz. Lost it to the end zone. Incomplete. LaFell almost made a spectacular one-hand grab.
And Bill, you remember we sat in that meeting and I talked to Jimmy and I said, Jimmy, I'm going to give you one tip. In a critical situation, Mike Zimmer is going to bring pressure. And here you see Leon Hall along with Chris Crocker.
He's taking some shots today.
He is going to be sore tomorrow.
Wow. And that was almost a highlight reel grab by LaFell, but he couldn't quite bring it in.
That's why you wear that flak jacket. You can see it right here, all those pads. Sometimes you wake up in the morning and feel like you've been in a car accident.
So Clausen will end 16 of 33, 188 yards, no touchdowns, and an interception.
And what you normally see with the rookies is a lower completion percentage and more interceptions than touchdowns. It's a learning process for these young players at that position. It is not easy early on.
So this will be an ugly win for the Cincinnati Bengals, but they'll take it, moving their record to 2-1.
Well, they have some good. I've been impressed with some of the younger players in that Cincinnati offense. I think Jordan Shipley is going to be an outstanding receiver. He's got a great feel for the middle of the field, and of course, the tight end Jermaine Gresham. I thought he was outstanding in the screen game. Some of those under routes. He's a big target for Carson Palmer.
Carson will take a knee. Put the play clock all the way down to 2. And the Panthers will take a timeout. Last Carolina timeout. Once again, it's a doubleheader Sunday here on CBS. Still to come. Indianapolis at Denver, the Chargers at the Seahawks, and the Raiders at Arizona. Check your local listings for the game in your area. The NFL on CBS.
Another quarterback change out in Oakland. My guy Bruce Gradkowski gets a chance to start in place of Jason Campbell. And
we've had quite a few quarterback changes here in the early going.
It's never a good thing when you have quarterback controversies and changes this early in the season.
And that should do it. Cincinnati Bengals will go to 2-1. The Carolina Panthers will start the season for a second consecutive year 0-3. Carson Palmer and company will get ready for the Cleveland Browns. They'll be at Cleveland next week. So the Cincinnati Bengals have won it. Coming up next, Game 2 of the NFL on CBS. For Rich Gannon, this is Bill McAtee for our entire CBS Sports team here in Charlotte. So long. The Cincinnati Bengals have won it 20-7. You've been watching the NFL on CBS. Coming up, it's the Burger King Update. We'll take you to New York for all the scores and highlights right after this.